Are you a STEM professional and are
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Boomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. And my name is Alada Lukwa. You know, the one and only. Yes, that's me. And I bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very, very interesting Tuesday afternoon. There are a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today. President Tinubu is in the news. We will officially have a new minimum wage that we're going to be talking about. There's a lot of gists around Senator Akpabio that we're going to be trying to break down. The place is also in the news and a couple of other things. I really do hope that you enjoyed today's show because today's show is really packed, yeah? So we're going to be breaking down a lot of things. And so sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Olatoluko. If you're just joining us, this is The Boom Bar, where we give you everything, sports, entertainment, news, and everything else in between. Everything else in between can be anything. That I cannot promise, as the spirit leads also. But we definitely, what I can assure you is that you're definitely going to have a great time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. With me in the studio is...
My name is Shola Rogers. Thank you for being there. Let's have a great show. Let's go.
Okay, so we're starting the show basically with the Senate. I think also another very interesting thing that we should actually sit down and talk about is that I'm not sure that that would take a lot of our time, so maybe we should just pass it through. The Senate has officially passed the new minimum wage bill. That happened a few minutes ago, so we're going to just breeze through that basically. But talking about the Senate, there are a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today about the Senate, and one of the things is the statement that the Senate President made last week that now seems to be causing some kind of rancor in the House. And then you'll be wondering why. What exactly? But she just got up and these things happened. And he said that she should not do that, or does she think that we're in a nightclub? That statement itself, what is it? Was it that statement necessary? Obviously not. Should he have said it the way he said it? No. However, it seemed to have rubbed a lot of Nigerians the wrong way, and a particular popular blog went ahead yesterday and the past 2 days actually, putting a lot of allegations out, put out the Senate President's phone number, put out his wife's phone number, put out his alleged side chicks' phone numbers out, and also called out 5 celebrities, some mostly actors that are supposed to be his girlfriends or what we call side chicks. And that was a lot of things. Now, today he's in the house and he apologized to her and said how his wife got between 2,000 to 3,000 calls, how his phone crashed. I know that what I'm about to say might sound a little controversial, but first things first, how does Senator Natasha Akpoti wash herself clean of the fact that all the onslaught that's happening on the Senate President had nothing to do with her? 1, 2, quite a few questions that I have. 2, make it make sense how you as the blog is supposed to be speaking for women according to you, and you say that you are supposed to be defending the rights of Senator Akpoti. Let's even assume she knew nothing about it and you were just enraged. And then you put out fellow women's phone numbers where Nigerians, if I would say jobless Nigerians, I'm sorry if anybody does not like it, because I don't know why I'm calling somebody that does not add any value to me. Why am I using my airtime to call anybody? Why? You have to be jobless. I'm not going to apologize for that. Jobless Nigerians kept on calling these numbers. And not just only harassment, it's now borderline a crime because you've invaded their privacy. Now, make it make sense how you've not done worse than what you claim to be fighting against. Then, we now have Nigerians on social media going off about how the blog, which I'm not sure I have the mental strength to call the name, is
it's on our title chart.
I'm not the one that did it. I don't know. It's production people. I don't care. How the blog has brought the Senate President to his knees and he has had to apologize and people are feeling cool with themselves. And I'm like, you don't think that you are breeding a monster you will not be able to deal with? So for now, those are my questions. Just for now.
Okay. There are a lot of things that are actually basically pissing me off. And I'm wondering how everybody just feels that it's okay now, to put out people's vital information. I know that a lot of jobless people will always do those things, but again, when you do it to protect a woman, in your own word, then you destroy other women. Because it's beyond. It's not attack. This one is not attack. You are basically saying that a married woman, in the person of Dakore, is having some kind of...
No, we have not even got into that part though.
But that's what the person did now.
Yeah, like I'm even talking about just putting out people's phone numbers.
Okay, so staying with what you're talking about, yeah. The Senate President, on his own part, said that his wife had to call his attention to that because he's not on social media and all of that. Now, social media is being seen as one kind of demon now, like where a lot of possessed people are dwelling.
Are they not?
And you talked about the monsters that people are creating. it is okay when you are not the one at the receiving end.
Yep.
But the instant the tables turn, and maybe one of these people are the ones that these blogs or whoever these social media people are on their matter, you see how things will change. But you know the sad part, it will only get worse. I see how a so-called anonymous blog is using that social media space and the seemingly anonymity to wreak havoc. You're not using it for good. You're not doing anything other than to just destroy people and everything. Because now you're more or less saying that you perjured yourself, or you lied, or you committed all these crimes because you are fighting for Natasha Akpoti. That's what this person is saying. And that in itself is a crime.
It's a crime.
You know? Now, not looking at the effects that it's going to have, because again, you know how terrible social media or internet is that the internet never forgets.
Yeah.
So even when it is cleared up, even when people apologize, it never goes away. It always hangs over whoever it is that, oh, you know what, this person, after all, they said you were this.
Even the senator that I think that Senator Natasha Akpoti is too cool about this matter, because I think it is completely, it doesn't even put her in a good light.
Because if I was her, I like that angle that you brought up. I would put out
I'll have to put out a statement. I know nothing about this. I didn't ask
this person to do this. I know nothing about it. Because is she comfortable with
exactly this, my point? You know? Like, how are you comfortable with other women getting attacked?
Again, you know, someone once said something that when you hear that that something is happening, maybe some kind of violence or crime is being committed somewhere, and everybody's shouting, that the place where they are quiet, that's where the problem is happening. That's where the problem is from. You know,
like, I don't know how we can and nobody, as in, I sat down with comments and I saw a lot of people writing all sorts of things, and I'm not seeing one person point out the ills in this thing, and I'm like,
no, they don't see it. They see it as some kind of victory, knowing that it's always a it's us versus them situation. The us now is that a lot of these people on social media, I won't even say they are young, because I've seen some very old people.
Yeah, I agree.
So regardless of age and all, a lot of people like this on social media are actually, you know, this vocal. It's when it becomes a personal thing. It's when the person that you are calling out, in quotes, that you are attacking,
the receiving end. You're the receiving end. Then
or that person tracks them down. Then you start hearing,
then you start begging
freedom for this person.
Exactly.
Hashtag this and all of that.
This, hashtag that.
It's just banter. It's just gonna come.
What the hell? And you know, like I've always said, I honestly think that, now it might sound funny. People, I know that I said yesterday and you just thought that I was angry. But I think that really and truly, the Nigerian government needs to do a lot about unemployment. You cannot tell me that you're gainfully employed, you are at work, or when you get back from work, you open your Instagram and then you see, okay, someone's Akpabio's wife's number was put out, and then the next day you pick up your phone and be calling the person. You're either jobless or your IQ is in the gutters. If that's the next thing that you feel is okay, why am I calling someone that I don't know? Because I want to disturb her, because her husband, what's my business? Like, there's a pandemic, we just don't know. There's a serious pandemic.
I don't think it has anything to do with people being jobless, Dolu. In my opinion, I think it has a lot to do with this culture of always, you know, seemingly showing that you know a little bit about everything, you're on top of it, and that you have the power to change things when you all join a mob. You get? I've seen a lot of people say, okay, you know, this is this person's number. This person did this and this to me.
Yeah,
I want to make the person popular.
And then you put the person's number.
And the next thing, the person starts to get calls.
Do you understand? In fact, I think I saw something like that last week where someone was alleging that someone did and this and this and that. And I'm like, what? When I saw it, he was alleging that I think the lady was trying to swerve him, and I'm like, have you gone to report these things?
No.
How is social media?
Social media is
putting out people's numbers. Do you realize that as much as even if that lady is guilty for what you said she did, you have also committed a crime? Like, do we realize the series of crimes? And the sad part is that you don't know until it's one person that will do it, and then will not. And like you said, you now start here, justice for this, free this person. When do we actually start educating ourselves about the wrongs? You say, oh, government did this, government did that. Do you know the amount of laws that you break every single day by being just very insensitive?
And the sad part is that, or the good part, depending on where you stand, is that laws are being updated now to capture some of these things that people feel that they can get away with.
Cyber bullying and I'm like, how does this even make any sense? I might be wrong, but I still feel that there is a large chunk of unemployed people, because you cannot take, for example, in this Lagos, like, okay, don't let me use myself as example, but people literally have to get into traffic to get to work. You have to get into traffic, not like it's an ideal situation, yeah? You have to get into traffic to get out, to get back home. I don't even get to traffic, yeah? But I'm tired at the end of the day. I just want to sleep. And then I'm now looking through, maybe the little time I have, I'm now looking through my social media, and then the next thing is to be calling somebody's wife. Is joblessness. Is unemployment. The rate of unemployment is very, very great.
I still feel that it has nothing to do with unemployment. Because some people actually just enjoy this.
And because you are unemployed, you must be unemployed.
They are doing it at work too.
Okay. All right.
And you assume that everybody is in one formal setting or the other. Not remember that.
Even if you're not in a formal setting, okay, take for example, I think I've come across one or two, would I say, content creators or social media influencers and all that, where a lot of them, make videos to put out and all that. I think that thing is a lot of work. Do you understand? Putting out, before you put out a video, okay, take for example, let's not even go out to videos, even audios, yeah? You maybe record, even right here, you record for you to put out like a 10-minute script. The hours, okay, this show now is produced. The hours of work that, you see one news in the morning, you quickly put it somewhere so that you don't forget. Do you understand? The hours of work that goes into even what we call like a creative process and what you think that is funny, and even skits. I can categorically say that those things take hours and hours of conceptualizing or days of editing, and and all those things, how to even conceptualize it to before you act it out, then before you edit, and then you merge it together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not even putting down any work. I'm saying that I don't think there's any work that is not work, that is not hard work. So for you to have time to do all that, you must be jobless.
No, it's just because you are gauging everybody by your own capacity. You don't have the strength, mental or physical or both or otherwise, to engage in social media banter and still go ahead to live your own life,
to be
your
calling
own way.
Somebody, calling Mrs. Akpabio. What's my business?
But in a world where people feel that bullying people on social media and online, as per phone calls and everything offline, is a big deal, and the way to go is a sick world. And I keep saying it, you enjoy it until it's your turn.
It's your turn. Yeah.
And it could be your turn in the sense that maybe you are one of the few that they will use as a scapegoat.
Or you become a celebrity tomorrow.
Do you know that?
Know.
So for instance, some of the people who were in a mob at the last major riot in Nigeria, the NSAS riot, there are some people that are still locked up.
Yes.
They're not the only ones that rioted now.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in the mob situation.
Yeah.
At least a few people will have to bear the brunt.
Yeah, you don't know who it will be.
Don't know.
Exactly.
Let it not be you bearing the brunt for something that you probably participated in but were not even that active in. or we are just even a bystander, you know.
Oh,
but,
yeah, we've heard how people literally just... Or remember, or the lady that died from looking at, standing beside the protest and just looking. Do you understand? Those things happen.
Or the ones that died on the bike on their way away from the...
Do you understand? Those things happen. I think that a lot of people...
But other people would definitely carry on with their lives.
I don't think a lot of people think of the consequences of the things that they do. However, we're still not done with this drama, because now we're moving from just putting out people's phone numbers to now accusing people of infidelity. Number one,
promiscuity.
I know that people might not like the sound of it, but is promiscuity, let's even say that is true for whatever reason. Is it a crime?
I don't know if it's a crime in the law, but at least we all know that it's wrong.
No, morally I get it. I'm saying that where I'm going is somebody. Let's even assume
the
someone.
Advocate of promiscuous people.
No. Let me finish. I say.
Are you an advocate for promiscuity? Now. Let us know.
Let me just.
Let us know.
Let me finish. Let me land. Let's even assume, allegedly, that the Senate president has 10 wives, not even girlfriends, 10 wives. How does he add money to my bank account?
Or remove from it.
What is my business?
Now they take host.
Jonathan, like, what is my business? Because honestly, I will not lie that I'm not on that blog. I don't know what happens there. But it became a thing like yesterday, and so it was everywhere. So you could see people post, people screen grab those things and put it out and all that. And the first thing that popped in my head is that, how is this my business? Do you understand? First things first. 2, you accuse people. I know that there was Dakore, I think there was Nancy Sime, who's also an actor. There was Hilda Bassi, who's a chef. Quite a lot.
There's another lady that sells wigs and stuff.
I don't know their faces. I saw the pictures.
There was a lady.
Yeah, I think there were like wigs. 5 pictures of different, very beautiful ladies. At least I don't know about other people. I know that Dakore is married. She had now put out a post. She through her lawyers, a cease and desist, and all that. And
even before she actually put out that post.
First part is that, how is it your business here? Second part is how these allegations, because it's still cyberbullying, you don't think how it's going to affect these women. For heaven's sake, Mrs. Dakore is a Mrs.
Yeah, Akande.
There's no how you can say a man opens his phone, even though there's trust, he knows his wife is not doing anything, opens his phone, and a blog is accusing his wife
of sleeping with the Senate president.
Even if he does not, the thought of it will cross his mind. I think it is such an evil thing.
And again,
it is just...
The sad part is that some people make a living off these things. Like, maybe it happened that you caught it or you captured it and you want to put it out.
Yeah.
Then people get to, throng your social media handles. Then you make money from the views and the traffic
and all that.
And you get more followers because there are people always looking for such information and just,
I'm like, how?
But
make it make sense.
Let it be true. Let it be that when you put that thing out, for instance, I remember that in recent times, 1 or 2 people have published stories or videos, and they've been threatened to bring it down, and they say no, that sue us.
Sue us, yeah.
If you believe that this story we put out is not
for you to say
real,
that you have serious evidence.
Yeah, I remember one that was very popular last year. Where
yes, Daddy. But it's true that we have not seen anybody get.
Nobody
has been sued.
Nobody's suing anybody on that.
Nobody has been sued. Kilo Shele.
So
I've really interested.
But in this person's own case now, she's threatened to sue. She actually made a video where she said, "Look, I would give anybody 5 million naira if you have proof or have any form of inkling of anything that resembles a proof that she knows this Senate president, not to talk of be dating him as a side chick or whatever. I think that
she should have put that 5 million naira should be towards finding who this person is.
Yeah. But I really think again that if you are this Gistlover person, if you are doing this for the greater good, like some kind of Robin Hood kind of thing or some kind of
you
vigilante,
shouldn't be attacking people for.
If you were doing that, I think it would be a great thing. But what I see you doing is that you use your platform, which is actually very big, to bring down a lot of people, mostly innocent people. And if you get off thinking that that's the way to go, keep it up. I just know that there'll be a day of reckoning. There'll be even the toughest criminals and the hardest bad men, they still get caught now. Did Osama bin Laden he hide from the rest of the world, and they've fished him out. So you think, you're anonymous, you do business with Bitcoin, they don't pay into your salary account, you just your day of reckoning is coming.
Not today.
Because this is terrible. Bringing down. So you wait. Destroy 6 women. 6 women to protect one.
Like, make it make sense.
Smart.
Now you get my point. Like, how does this even make any sense to anybody?
So because you claim that you're protecting or fighting for Natasha Akpoti, you threw 5 women's careers and their relationships up in smoke. Do you know how far people went? During Hilda Bass's attempt to break the record, which she eventually did, congratulations to her, I think the Senate president visited that event as one of the people that went there to encourage her and congratulate her and all of that. And someone went as far as bringing out that video to say, oh, now it makes sense. So shall we say that the governor that went to and all the other people that went to are all involved? I know as much as we like to believe in conspiracy theories and we want to pull down this artist or pull down this celebrity or popular person, at times make we consider, say, these people too, they are human after all. And now, could it be also that in the cease and desist, this person was given a 24-hour, notice to pull down that post? Or they would, I like the words that the lawyers used, Olisa Agbakuba legal. They said aggressively pursue legal solutions to the thing, like aggressively. The word aggressively was put in the mix.
I what's it called? It's probably on the line at the moment.
Posting that letter online is substituted service now, Abi.
Yes, you can't say you didn't see it because, okay, where are they sending it to?
But, it's funny how some people are close to you, but they're the ones feeding people your personal information and everything.
But that, funny enough, interestingly, that's something that I have a friend that says that thing, that as much as we want to say about these blogs and all that, there are definitely people close to you, around you, that feed these people information. Because it's obvious that these people's phone numbers, at least the president, the Senate president had confirmed that they were actually his and his wife's phone numbers.
Yeah, he said one of his numbers, that he just turned on the number and boom, the thing crashed.
And then, obviously, some people around close to them, definitely. So now the question is, who are the people in your corner?
Yeah, so the Senate president talked about having enemies and everything too, especially when you contest.
But the honest truth is that he's the Senate president. I don't think that at least one of his numbers will not be public. Yeah, but what's his wife's own in the matter? Is she just married the man? No, I don't know. Like, how? What did she do? I think we should really think about this thing. No, think it very, very, very well. However, President Tinubu, talking about all this drama, President Tinubu is going to commission the Nigerian Police National Cybercrime Center tomorrow. So Nigeria Police now has a National Cybercrime Center. Just wanted to put it out there. Just wanted to put it out there for y'all to know.
My own thing about this Cybercrime Center is that, Lord, let it be people that are properly trained.
we'll definitely will see.
You know how police, although even like the former IGs and even the current ones have always said that the police have no right to go through your mobile phone without a warrant and everything. I hope that they will deploy technology now and not brute force.
Not brute force, yeah. We'll see.
And again, I hope that they will not use it for personal aggrandizement and gain and benefit.
Now, still talking about this, and just all the way from the Senate. The Senate has now passed the Police Act, the Police Act Amendment Bill. Now, what basically this is saying is that is not a president cannot sack an IG.
That is going to use his 4 years.
Yes.
Is that the main reason, or is just to have a structured way?
I think it's a structured way, basically. Like, it's passed an amendment bill that a person appointed into the office of the Inspector General of Police is to remain in office until the end of term stipulated in the letter of appointment. Basically. Isn't
that funny?
Why?
So even if the person deserves to be sacked, they won't sack him.
Okay, sure. I don't say FD. I'm sure that maybe they're like they probably should now be what's it called now? There will like be issues where there will be situations where the IG can be sacked.
Exactly.
I think there should be. I don't know if that is in the what's it called, but basically that's what they're saying. That's what the new Amendment Act is supposed to do. Anyway, moving on from that, and then moving on to still talking about the National Assembly. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the First Lady, is now backing the bill seeking for 70 legislative seats for women.
Okay, so I get how we need to increase the number of women in politics, and especially in decision-making organs of governance and government. But creating 70 seats solely for women is an anomaly.
It don't make sense. I don't agree.
We're trying to curtail government expenses.
Oh.
Orasoye report is there that they say that they are implementing, and which is about bringing down the cost of governance. They're supposed to merge some MDAs and government-owned businesses and all of that into one or two in some instances, from 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. And here we are, increasing the number of senators by 70.
Okay, so BT616 says most of your African famous celebrities, be it movies, YouTubers, and musicians, all have their companies registered in the US and UK, so all that money is not coming into the country. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about here at the moment. Please, can you explain a little better what you are referring to with this? So, okay, maybe he's talking about the Cybercrime Center or something, but please, I would really hope that you would
shed more light
to that. So I get your own point of not increasing the wage bill. Yeah. My own issue, I don't know if is that maybe I'm just being, what's it called? But I personally don't like handouts. And it looks like a handout. Like, okay, shall I give it to them? Meaning that you're literally, I think that to a large extent, they're disenfranchising every other woman from every seat in that state. Because what it would mean is that, go and, it's only that seat.
Maybe they have special seats for women. Go and contest
so
that
there's
one.
No need.
That's another angle to it, though.
There's no need to, I won't say force, to make these people realize that, okay, any other woman that comes through any other seat, she needs a lot of, because this one, since there's a seat for them, that's it. We're already fighting for more representation. But the minute you put a designated one there, game over. That's the end of women again. I
like the idea of having more women in politics, and especially in governance. But I don't see how creating more Senate seats for women is the solution. I think empowering them,
Exactly.
encouraging them.
Encouraging them, empowering them to actually.
More
people need to come up.
Some of the parties did something great for women during the last election. They didn't charge them for their forms.
Wow. Chief Orikoko says, and I quote, women are 53.2% of Nigeria's population.
Wow.
Shall I picture 50 Dolopos in the Senate?
Voila.
We are struggling to handle this one. 50 will be too much for the country.
We don't want it.
Wow.
We want more women, but we don't want
wow.
this type.
Wow.
See,
I hear you.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow. Thank you very much.
We would take it as a compliment.
Oh. What kind of compliment is that one?
We would
See yourself.
We would rather. It's not working. You see, we would rather create a third tier of government. This one a joke. Women, don't take it out of context. Like the Women's Senate.
Can you see? Can you see how they are making fun of
if we have the National Women's Senate?
What does that even mean?
It will be a women
it's fight
centric place.
Fight.
And
fight.
How long would that house last? I don't know.
Chivori Koko says Dolokwa is a strong and independent woman. No.
Exactly.
We are proud of her.
Exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're saying. So we now create their own assembly for them, the Women's Assembly. So most of the bills that we expect women to have a lot of expertise on, we'll push it to them.
Wow.
And the bills will not be passed on time.
Wow.
Because some people did not like the color of the paper.
Honestly, I think that it is a ridiculous thing. I think that a lot of women
create a level playing ground for everybody.
The honest truth is that
women.
whether we like it or not, whether we like it or not, how do I want to say it now? Politics all over the world, women are not. Yes, you hope that there are more women in politics and all that. Women are the lesser. They are the minority when it comes to it. But at the end of the day, sadly, I'm very all about equity. The truth is that if you give everybody the same level playing field, you will still not have the same. You won't have 50-50. And that it is what it is.
I don't know if you've seen a lot of people.
We need to be able to sit in that.
A lot of people would have seen
that issue that we're not going to have 50-50 women and men in politics. It's not going to happen.
There's an image that lives rent-free in my head, and I know a lot of people would have seen this image online, where 3 male characters, 3 men or boys or whatever, were trying to maybe watch a game of football over a fence, and one of them was extremely tall, and one of them was like a dwarf, and one was like in between both of them, and they had 3 cartons. If you give 1 carton to each one, the tall guy does not need it, but if he steps on it, it goes higher.
Yeah.
The second guy gets 1, and he can barely see the top of the fence. The short guy will not see anything. But with those 3 cartons,
equality.
That's equity. When you give them equality.
That's equality.
Now, but if you want equity, what you do is the shortest guy gets 3 cartons, or 2. Then the middle-sized guy gets 1, and they all can see across the fence. Or the tall guy carries the shortest one, while the middle
and
height
then
guy,
everybody gets
to see the game.
Okay, so there's a comment that BT616. I was trying to read it. It sounds very interesting, though. I would like to actually, please, can you post it again? I think he was actually mentioning one thing. And like I said, he said that, you can't have too many women in charge, especially in politics. The emotion sometimes overrides logic. I agree with you. Watch the American House where women body shame each other. Fake lashes, abuse. No. And that's it. See, other than emotional part.
And again, I'm happy that we're being open and frontal here, because people will misconstrue everything we're saying here. This is based on facts.
It's facts and figures. It is the truth. Emotions will come in where, yes, women always do all these things. Women body shame ourselves the most. That's it.
Yeah.
Sadly. 2, I've come to realize when it comes to body shaming, I don't know if it's that men are not so perceptive, so they don't actually care. It is women that realize that it's your stomach is too big.
Wait. Did you just abuse all of us now? We're not so perceptive.
They're not actually.
Yes, sir.
Men look. It's the same way you make hair. You think that one man is looking. It does. What I say, I've come to sit in the idea that he's not doing it intentionally. He just doesn't realize
that you made hair and the guy didn't see it,
or
he didn't talk about it.
Or he didn't. Is
it compulsory for him to talk about it?
He didn't see it. It's the same way you give a man. Okay, you give a man 2 shades of blue. To a man, blue is blue.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. To a woman, it's probably sky blue and baby blue.
Why? You see, that's the problem.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Do you
problem.
understand? They're just not that person, so they really just don't care that much.
That doesn't mean
however,
they're not perceptive. They're just not given to.
However, moving if that is the case,
Carton brown.
The issue cockroach brown.
Cockroach brown.
There is the issue of women as being women, as being homemakers. There's the issue of them giving birth. There is the issue of monthly cycle that really does affect a lot of women.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that pop up now with hormones, things. There are a lot of, I won't call them diseases, but conditions.
There
are a lot of things like endometriosis. There's a lot of things like PCOS that literally stop women, some women from actually going through their everyday life like men.
Functioning 100%.
Functioning 100%.
Like they would want to.
It's sad.
It doesn't mean that they're not capable.
They're not capable, but it is what it is.
Do
you understand? It is what it is. Even if you don't have all those illnesses, being a woman alone and having your proper menstrual cycle already messes with you.
Yeah.
What's of a woman that is pregnant and doing all that? So I'm not saying that
women should not get more
women
representation.
should not get more representation.
But it shouldn't be by
but we should
legislation.
Sit, exactly. Let us,
70.
first things first, we should sit in the fact that you're not getting 50% representation. It's not going to happen. 1.
Not yet.
2, not anytime soon. 2, the fact that let us give ourselves a level playing field that would encourage more women to get into those things. That way you can tell me that a senator from Ogun East and a senator from Borno West, they are on the same level playing field, not just because after you hear Ogun East, Ogun West, Ogun Central, then Ogun women. Like, come on. BT616 says, don't try to understand women. Women understand women and they hate each other. Al Bundy. Wow.
No. That's a blanket statement. Some women actually like themselves.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. Some.
I won't subscribe to the blanket statement though. But okay, anyhow, but what I was trying to say, I respect that opinion, but what I was trying to say in essence is that women deserve more representation. But the best way to get them,
don't let it be a handout.
Yeah, the best way to get them is to help them achieve it. Because men have blocked too many things. Men have, perpetuated themselves. But again, it is because if you say that there are more women in Nigeria than there are men, it's because the women are not coming out.
Yeah, they're not coming out.
Over and over again.
Let's even take, for example, female football. You go to a stadium to watch
men's football.
Men's football is men. Is men. You go to a stadium to watch
women's football.
So women's football, there are men watching the
men,
ball.
It's the men that are there.
Women
most.
supporting women. I have a friend that said something was, and it struck me like that. We never hear the phrase men supporting men. Why? Because men just automatically support men.
It's a given now.
But that it's almost like as if you have to remind the woman to support the woman. Why do we have to do that?
I saw a video. This happened somewhere in America or in Europe, and a guy and his girlfriend or woman, they were at an eatery. They are trying to buy food, and they had just been served. So it was time to pay, and the guy was bringing out his card, and the lady brought out her card too. The guy behind the counter is a guy grabbed the lady's card. Maybe she brought it out to say.
Just
the guy grabbed the lady's card,
men supporting
slotted
men.
it, and quickly punched it in and gave her a card back and winked at the guy like, I got you, bro.
Chibok says,
that's what
we
men do.
tried in Ekiti with some board membership seats. Let me just say a lot of women ended up being single mothers. I will not say more than that.
Angu.
I don't agree though. I don't totally agree.
But he's talking facts
But
here. He's
I'm
talking
not
his
saying
own
that.
reality.
I'm saying his own reality. But I'm not saying
And
that
he
that's
didn't
what's
say
going to
anything,
happen all throughout. I just feel that give people a better representation to it.
Women need to be better organized.
Yeah.
They need to come together. And they need to take it.
If we have the population, why not?
We don't need more than 3 senators. In fact, left to me, we need only 1 house. We don't need House of Rep and Senate. Left to me, but I don't have such powers. But now we already have 3 senators per state, which is 107 or
809.
You know. Then we have the House of Reps. Then you want to add 70.
70 again.
70.
Interestingly, take for example, it was during the election that someone had pointed it out to me. I think you also pointed it out that in Lagos State, there's always a woman that's a senator.
Yeah.
Nobody is...
They didn't pass any law for that.
It's not law. There's
no edict to that effect.
I would say maybe it's an unwritten rule or something. But somehow, somewhere, it has worked.
It's working.
Because some people decided, okay, we need to... It's
working.
But it's working.
Remember, Oluremi Tinubu was senator for 2 terms?
Yeah.
She's left now. Now, the female senator that is there now is not from Remi's own constituency. It's from a different constituency, but it's still a woman.
But it's still a woman. So that's what I'm saying, that at least, imagine if at least 1 out of 3 seats, every Senate seat in every senatorial district and in every state. And like I said, it's not about designating one particular one. It is whoever gets it.
Yeah.
Encourage them. Imagine that's 1/3. Out of 108, that's at least 36.
And that's a lot. Because right now, we don't even have up to 7.
I think they're about 4 or 5.
Yeah, we don't have up to 7.
The Ninth Assembly even had more. This one, they even have less.
Yeah. So some kind of affirmative action, but not by creating 70 additional seats.
Exactly. I don't see.
But
how
women deserve to be more in government.
And talking about,
we must carry them along from the grassroots.
From the grassroots. I'm talking about women supporting women. 10 pregnant women were rescued by the police in Akwa Ibom State, run by a 56-year-old woman.
So they call them baby factories, right?
Yep.
And for those who are wondering what this is, it's usually operated by women, and they kind of find indigent women. I assume they are indigent if they are not coerced or forced.
A lot of them are probably forced.
Yeah. Into some building somewhere, a house, and they now get men. Where do they get the men from? Do the men get paid? Do you understand? And is there not something that the government is missing here? That means that there's an industry. There's a factory that they are supplying. That means that there are people buying. There are people that buying babies.
It's such a what's it called now?
Now the people who are buying these children, would we assume that there are people who can afford it? Abi? Because a woman who has kept different women, 10 now in this case, in a house, and they would spend, each will spend at least 8 to 9 months. At least they will shall eat. Abi? If they don't do anything, would they?
Yes.
Because the baby has to be healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that woman will also say that she's investing in those 10 women.
In those 10 women.
Forgetting how animalistic and callous this is. So when the babies are born, they're giving birth to, the mother would probably never see that child again.
Yep.
So where do they go? They sell them. It's obvious.
So
who are the people buying them? Are they buying them as, to go and pretend that, your wife just gave birth? And
obviously pretend that.
That's what I'm saying. So isn't there a more easier way to do this thing? Because still, this child is not yours biologically anyway. So how about adopting children officially and bringing them in? But you rather lie and pretend. So apart from the evil that the owners of these baby factories are perpetrating, the people who are buying human beings.
Because see, the truth is that whether we like it or not, these people will not be here if there are no, what's the word now? If there's no market for
There's
it.
demand now.
There's a demand for it. That's why there's a
And
supply.
there are other ways. There's surrogacy. There's so many other things that you could do.
People that are evil are just evil. There's no point about it. However, the Nigerian army had rescued another Chibok girl with a lot of people they've also rescued in Sambisa forest, and this lady has now been rescued with 2 children and been handed over to the Borno government. According to her, she was married to about 8 different men.
Since they were kidnapped.
Yep, they were just passing her around. It's such a very sad.
If there's any evil thing that is worse than this, may we not see or hear about it.
Amen.
You went and raided a school of secondary school girls, and now they are women. I saw, there are 2 of them in America that went to school. And I saw those girls, listened to them. I saw their videos online. I was so impressed. They graduated, I think, last year or so. And I said, if only these other girls had the chance to graduate. Not necessarily in America, but also go to school and everything.
Yeah.
And now, look at the parallel lives that they both have. One, married to 8 different men with 3 children.
BT616 says, Anfani Adugbo 8K. Yeah. The men were literally just...
Yeah, you know how these terrorists are.
They're just ridiculous.
They actually sell those girls at times. They buy them
and they're just, doing all sorts of things. It's such a very, very sad incident. Now, moving on from that, let's move on to this drama with the NNPC and Dangote is not going anywhere.
My friend Ali.
Which your friend, Ali? Which friend do you have? Which friend?
He's our friend. He's our friend now.
Anyway, people that are watching and listening to me. So Dangote is saying
Aliko
is saying that there are people now that they are alleging that NNPC personnel.
Choose your words carefully.
Hey, I say people now.
NNPC personnel
that actually bringing substandard diesel from Malta. The NNPC CEO or chairman
has
tweeted that he should please let him know the people
that he is not involved.
That he's not involved. At this point, I think he's sounding very guilty. Not saying that he's guilty, but if you're not involved, I think that at this point you don't need a tweet. I think that people like him will probably have numbers of Mr. Aliko Dangote. No. And then let him know that, let me know these people and let me find a way to deal with them.
I totally disagree with you. And I think that Mele Kyari did the right thing by coming out first to absolve himself. If you read his statement, he said that people have been calling him. Because when you say NNPC personnel,
he's
not exempted.
Yeah.
And at times when allegations are made and you keep quiet, people start to believe it. So I'm not saying he's not the one, but he is saying that he is not involved. And that Mr. Dangote, my friend Ali, Aliko Dangote, my good friend, that he should have, there are channels that he should have reported to government channels and sources and all of that. But I think Aliko Dangote is on a rampage.
I saw a tweet yesterday that what is it called? That Aliko Dangote is now in the era of Emilio Company.
He's on a rampage, and he feels that he has to protect his $19-point-something billion investment. And one of the best ways for him to do it is to speak. Funny thing is, a lot of people who didn't believe in the refinery are the ones who are now shouting that Aliko is doing well.
They did not believe that the thing was even alive.
That's one. However, what is important is that we need to locally refine crude in Nigeria and provide all the byproducts, especially the ones we need locally.
So that says that Nigeria happened to Dangote. Oh.
Nigeria,
they are about to happen to him, the man has to speak up.
If Nigeria happens to Dakore, it will affect all of us. So,
so don't let Nigeria happen to
it
him.
will not happen.
I think that obviously it is a lot of cabal. It's very obvious that a lot of people do not want. A lot of people are benefiting from the fact that Nigeria is importing fuel.
Bad fuel.
Yes, very bad fuel. So
terrible quality fuel.
It's
beyond the cost.
It's like it's the corruption fighting back.
So that's the way so don't look what picture if they were importing good quality fuel. Mm-hmm. You get that means that it would have probably cost more. But they are charging us more for the worst type of fuel that we could buy.
616 says Dagote yelling Egbami Ara Adugbo is
if na you call 19% billion it's not a joking stuff.
Yeah,
it's not.
I think that it would scale through. I think that
the meeting that they had with Heineken, I like that name, Heineken. You know, I could name a child NSC, you know.
Oh God.
Heineken Logbobiri. The meeting that they had with him yesterday, and he had in tow Melekiari and that NMDPRA man. That man.
And that man, I think he was jabbing too much.
That man said a lot of wrong things.
Yeah,
and I know again that Aliko too is also being smart by saying some of the things that he's saying.
Yeah.
He's also being smart. Like Kiari was saying, if Aliko wanted to channel these things through another angle, he would have.
He would have now.
And he would have said, but I get what he did there. The bottom line is that I don't care. I just want the price of
have fuel.
The pump price of fuel. Not fuel now. Now we want good fuel.
Good fuel.
Because
good fuel.
Now these people, they spoil our cars. Oh.
Yes, those things actually spoil cars and all that. So yeah, so basically that's what it is. Now, before we go quickly.
We're going
very quickly, actually. Before we go, interestingly, something very interesting happened today, as there are quite a number of people that are cross-carpeting to the APC. Now, in the Senate today, one Labour Party senator crossed to the APC. In the House of Representatives, in Kogi, an Imo East senator had crossed to the APC. In Kogi, an ADC House of Rep member also crossed to the APC. In Kaduna, 702 members of Labour Party, PDP, and APGA moved also to the APC.
So, all this talk about 2027 has started in 2024.
And the first thing in my mind was like, I thought that APC were not good. Why are people moving to the APC?
In Imo, what this basically means is that...
who is the governor in Imo State? Oh, he's an APC governor. Okay, so Peter Man has something for you. He said, before you go, Shola, since PSG no longer wants your man, what is that? He's now considering Saudi. News dropped 3 hours ago. Your thoughts?
What did you say again?
It's talking to you, Shola.
Can you read it? I zoned out.
No, you did not. You heard me.
Okay. As a PR guy, let me you see what you guys need to realize is that you see, Osimhen has already said he wants to leave Italy, you know, for obvious reasons. You understand, and you know, the Saudi League is actually being organized by a Nigerian. Yeah. You know, Mike Emenalo is the director of the league. You know, so if you consider all of those things, you know, the Saudi League is not that bad. You know, the pay is better. Now there are people like Ronaldo and N'Golo Kante and more.
They've almost ended their career.
No, but look at all the other young players who have gone there, you know.
Okay.
So it's not because if Osimhen wants to go to England, he would, you know.
He would.
But you see, PSG again, you know, Osimhen was in France before. So don't worry. Let him just go to Saudi for one season.
Is he actually confirmed PSG does not want him?
Actually, since yesterday I knew, but so.
Oh wow!
It's the PSG deal is not completely off, you know. But what we're trying to.
Chief Coco says.
What did he say?
Shola, please stop it right there.
What did he say?
Saudi care. He said you should stop. He said you should stop talking. He said you should stop.
Actually, you see, let me explain something to you.
There's nothing that we're moving. Moving on.
It's Tolupa that didn't let me finish.
Yes,
I was trying to say.
I did not let you finish what you were saying. Anyway, since we're talking about sports, Tobi Amusan is the Nigeria's flag bearer for the Olympics.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful.
She deserves that honor.
First won in 20 years. I think the last
First athlete.
First athlete. I think the last before her was Mary Onyali. Also, the Super Falcons, after 16 years for not going to the Olympics, are going to start their campaign tomorrow, on Thursday by 6 p.m. So BT 616 says, Shola, PR job is not career for you, my brother.
Does he know?
He's Osimhen that wants to watch.
See, Baba, PR is my main job. It's Osimhen is sorry, let me not finish it. It's Osimhen that Oriel Fegba UK at France. Personally, PR is our mainstay. DM was less PR. But on a serious tip, I think that Osimhen's outburst is what has caused this.
Maybe
because
worse, yeah?
there were a lot of deals on the table for him before the end of last season. Mm-hmm. So sorry, please forgive me.
Maybe his management is
so what went wrong? What actually went wrong?
Maybe he needs to
also knowing a little bit more than we let on about him. We are not free to say these things on air. He might have made a few wrong moves with his management, and that's affecting him now. But we're not at liberty to reveal everything. But on a serious tip, my support for Osimhen is solely because he's a Nigerian blood like me, and is a young player that I see a lot of potential in.
Exactly.
And he would have done better for me if he had joined the Arsenal number 1. I would rather have him go to Arsenal first, go to Man United second, or go to Chelsea third. Reason why I put it in that order is that the way Arsenal is structured, if they play for him, it's going to be a hit. The way Man United is being restructured, if Osimhen joins them, it's going to be a hit. And the way Chelsea is also going about their business in the market, that's why I spoke about Osimhen the way I did. But jokingly, I wanted him out of Italy also because of what they did to him.
There's a lot that's
especially when their social media did some very disgusting things online and everybody just looked the other way. And from that point, I knew that he had to leave Italy. Now, Kante does not want him at all. And that's where the problem lies. If the old coach was still there, that would have made it harder for anybody to throw him out because Kante wants to bring in Lukaku. And this is where the problem is. So no matter what happens, wherever he finds his game, he should look himself in the mirror and look at how he's about to wreck his young career or restructure and bounce back.
Okay, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today at the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Boomba. Do you have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead?